Hi, everyone, and welcome to episode 63. I have to make sure I'm not mixing up the number. Episode 63 of Midnight Poppyland, and I'm here with Sarah. And we're going to be improvising with this screen because Sarah can access her FastPass right now. So we're going to do this so Sarah can see. So we begin with seeing Tora and Poppy and their legs close together. And, repeat a little bit of a few panels of last time where the guy, head honcho with like tears in his eyes still, he's like, oh, the Afro looks like he could do some serious damage, but Dad held back down without a fight. And Nicholas is going to kill us if we, and then they're looking. And Poppy and Tora, right? Poppy had this romantic moment. Tora has his arm, it's like he's cradling her face. It's so cute.
Like, yes.
The thugs are all appreciating it. They're like, nice moves, bro. Get it, my man. They went from like, we hate you, we're gonna kill you, to like, hey, you go, guy.
Yeah, I was like, I just love how just a while ago you guys were all just talking like bad stuff in front of Tora's face, and now you're all just like, oh, that's so cute. Like you guys are like squealing about it.
It's cute. And I know like they, the leader was just humanized a second ago with like the whole incident with his, some girl, right, that broke his heart apparently. So now they're being humanized too. But the front guy is like, damn, those fucking lovebirds. So he's kind of not appreciating it. And Tora, our dear friend, has a very eloquent response for them because he just flips them off. It's great. It's like, no, Tora does not think it's cute. Like he still has to be obnoxious.
I know, like this episode to me, like it was just comedic from these guys like, oh, that's cute and all that stuff, to this.
Yeah. It's he may be kissing Poppy, but he can still listen and flip him off. And the guy gets super angry. He's like, did he just flip me off? That's it. I'm done playing games. And he starts stomping toward him. But Tora, dear, we have this beautiful panel of his hand. We all know we love Tora's hands. And he's kind of like starting to touch his hair. And then he pulls back just a little bit of his hair, enough so you can see just a little bit of his clan tattoo. And the guy just stops in his tracks and is like looking horrified. And he's like, that symbol. And he starts sweating and everyone around him starts sweating. And at the end, Tora just like pretends that I think, what do you think he's doing? I think he's like pretending that he was hot. And that's why he was pulling his hair back.
No, I think like he was mostly just telling them like, go away. Just okay. That. Or that's how I took it.
Okay.
Like, he's just telling them to go away.
Yeah, that makes more sense because he has this like a little angry symbol here. So he just was super effectively communicating to them that, get the hell out of here. I can cause serious trouble to you if I wanted to, but basically I don't want to because I have my girl here and I don't want to scare her the hell away from me. So get out of here and I don't want to see you again.
Yeah, like you guys are lucky that Poppy's there. This is your one chance. Not that many people get lucky, but you guys got lucky tonight. So, take your chance and just go away and leave these two alone.
Yeah. And there's a little, we'll discuss a little bit later about like why he did what he did in this way and how he felt about this whole interaction. So, but anyway, the clan guys react, the thuglets, or sorry, these are not the thuglets, the thugs. They're like, he's Balthuman elite. Bro, and they badump. No wonder my instincts were screaming at me to run. And he thinks back to his, his scary face. And I almost lost my effing life tonight. So we see the reputation that symbol has. And we know that when other people saw that symbol, they also like at the restaurant or various places, they started sweating and running away as well. So, and these guys really know that world. Like civilians see it and they're like, oh, it's a clan symbol, but they know that world and they're like, oh, he's Balthuman elite. So that's pretty interesting. Now I'm wondering who else has this symbol. You remember? Well, Quincy has two of them. And
wait, I don't remember, but does Gyu have them? I don't think he doesn't, right?
Gyu has like a cherry and an umbrella. Oh. I'm trying to remember if Well, and then Sharch had them. Do you remember that?
I don't think he does. No,
That's the other
I don't
episode.
think he does.
So yeah, so this is the Balthuman elite. I'm curious about this because we know that Tora like was a sniper and he is a very excellent sniper. We can kind of read between the lines that he's a hitman. And so what is this Balthuman elite and like why are they so scared of it? You know, what does it mean? What kind of skills does it require? What do they do?
Yeah, you know what's interesting? Like I was seeing in one of the comments of this episode, that the reason why like Tora has his hair long is to hide that tattoo. Because if like anyone were to like just see it, like they'll just be scared of, and they wouldn't like, they'll just like run off.
All right, he probably doesn't want that reaction all damn day, only in select
Yeah.
moments like this. Right. I mean, we know that he's embarrassed of being in clan, and definitely when he goes to the civilian world, I'm assuming he wants to fit in. He doesn't want to, he is embarrassed about that, the looks that he gets from other people, which we've seen in the past. So yeah, I mean, I know, maybe there's other reasons for him growing his hair long, like laziness, but which was mentioned. But that's definitely, I feel like that's probably an added benefit of having long hair.
Yeah, because like not all people are gonna be like Poppy.
Exactly. Yeah. So those other guys are like, come on, let's go. And they skedaddle out of there. And meanwhile, they're still kissing. So beautiful, so lovely. And Poppy's like, wait, Tora. And she's like, and Tora's like, no, we're kissing. We're kissing. We can continue. Does
Yeah,
not
it's like,
stop.
yeah, like, yeah, I know that those guys are gone, but we don't need to stop.
Right. Why? This is for us. I mean, if anything, he gets even more passionate. I don't know. Maybe that's just me reading into it.
No, that was me too.
These are gorgeous shots. They're so beautiful. I love them. So sweet. Oh, yeah, it's very, I love it. I just love looking at those two. Sorry.
It's fine.
And Poppy's like, and they finally separate and they're like, the breath between them. She's like, I think they're gone. And they look back and indeed, they are gone. And their expressions are hilarious because Poppy's like, some thugs are afraid of public PDA, public display of affection. Who knew? Like, these thugs, like, guns don't scare them, the threat of violence doesn't scare them, but PDA.
Yeah, like
And Tora is like, sorry, I guess I'm not the Air Street hotshot you have in mind. He minimizes what he just did. He doesn't want her to know. And he just pretends that, not like I showed them my clan tattoo and I'm so scary, because he doesn't want her to see that side of himself and to identify him as that and to think of him as that person. So he's like, yeah, no, that wasn't me. I'm not the hotshot. Yeah, you actually are the hotshot, Tora. Sorry.
yeah, and it's like so cute that like he can't think of like it's like he's thinking, yeah, he couldn't think of anyone else but him to be around Poppy during that time. He's like thinking like, who else could have been here with you?
Yep. So Poppy's like, it's not like that. I was just mad that they were talking to me that way, which is very sweet. Like she really did get angry and she got like more and more heated as time went on because she cares for him and she wants him to get that respect. So it's so nice that somebody's standing up for him.
Yeah, and it's like Tora probably doesn't think he like deserves any respect. He's a mafia member, but for someone to actually like finally tell people, like, show this guy some respect, that was just, oh my god.
Yeah, so affirming. First time in his life. It's so sweet. And she says, I know next to nothing about all that clan stuff. And then he also does affirming. He affirms her as well. He's like, you did great, kiddo. So sweet, so lovely. He's such a like he's a person that we talked about this before. I think that he has a natural emotional intelligence and a kindness to him that hasn't been trained or taught and hasn't been modeled by other people, but I think he just has it naturally. he's a very astute observer, and I think he's an emotionally aware person, which is quite remarkable given the fact that he did not grow up in an environment that fostered that.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he's like, just wanted to see how far you'd go to patch up my wounded ego. Oh, so cute. It's like he's admitting it. You know, I think there's a little bit of truth to what he's saying, although he's joking around. I do think that there's a little bit of truth there.
Oh yeah, definitely.
So she's like, that thing's made of steel, which is also affirming. You know, there's always like a push and pull with I think with self-confidence and ego. You know, sometimes like there's a time to be like, oh, my poor darling, and then there's a time to be like, you're strong, you can handle it. So you always have to have like, I think, both in a relationship. Like you don't want to make the person feel like a victim all the time. You know, you want to be empowering as well. Like, so I think that's nice, like a nice back and forth.
Yeah. Oh my God.
And it's like, I don't even know what I was worried about. And then Tora, the darling, you know, kind of like puts his finger under her chin, lifts it up, there's, you know, very tenderly and affectionately. And Poppy's like, what? No testicle jokes from you? She just like expects him. I think, is that referring to like testicles of steel, right? I think she's kind of waiting to, as a response to her steel comment.
Oh yeah. You know, I think from the testicle one, I think maybe that was like from way back in season 1 when they were on that sushi restaurant at Alice's.
True. Oh boy. My husband makes a lot of these sexual jokes too. And when I first got married, like I came from a very pure family that did not make these jokes. And I was like, oh, how dare you? But I got used to it. And now I make sexual jokes to him all the time. It's very bad. So terrible. So, but no, he is not in a joking mood. He's in a serious mood. And because he's asking her now, did they hurt you? This is his greatest worry, right? He was like, the whole reason he didn't want to be with Poppy was because he doesn't want her to get hurt. And now, like, she comes running to him, running away from thugs, and he's being serious because he wants to know if they hurt her.
Yeah, like we've seen that before. Like the first time, like she's trying to help Mr. Long get away from like Shark and Claude. And you know, when Poppy showed up at Quincy's place, you know, we've seen the first time that he got worried for her.
Yeah, and that's the reason he's not cracking dirty jokes.
Mm-hmm.
And he has like, you know, he looks at her. The art is just gorgeous. I just like, it's just stunning throughout. They're so beautiful. They're just gorgeous people, all of them, and like the lighting and the coloring. Oh,
like I hate to say it, but like, okay, basically it's just the art that I like, not the characters. But you know, people like Vincent, Jewelry, even they look like, I love the art and like how Lily like makes them. Like they actually come out really cool.
Yeah, don't worry, it's okay. We can say villains are gorgeous. There are plenty of people in this fandom who think so. So don't worry. Yeah, they're beautiful characters, and honestly, like, you know, we can admire the way they're portrayed. Like Vincent has that look of like a powerful man who expects things to go his way. You know, he's well portrayed. He's drawn, and his character is fleshed out. Yeah, he's a despicable human being, but like he's so well done. And, you know, so you could just see the tender gaze in Tora's eyes, you know, how he's looking down at Poppy and just concerned and in a serious tone of voice. Like he asked, did they hurt you? And he still has his like arm under her chin, which is the sweetest. She's like, nah, I got away. But to be honest, I was bracing myself for a fight. I'm glad you sidestepped it so easily. So, I mean, you know, this is Poppy's, again, an introduction to his world. Like this is what she was preparing for. Something that she never, that we don't think she really had to experience before. We know she was bullied as a kid and her dad taught her boxing. So maybe she did have some physical, you know, experience as a kid, but as far as we know, she never really was involved in fights. So that would be like a whole new thing for her.
Yeah.
And, you know, Tora's returned his hands to his pockets, and he's like slouching down. It's kind of a typical pose for him. I think that because Poppy's much shorter than him, he tends to like slouch down to try to be next to her and like be not as tall. And she's like, I should have let you handle it right from the start. There was so much adrenaline rushing through me. I couldn't think straight. I'm sorry. This wouldn't have happened if it hadn't been there. And she's looking down all the time. So you can tell she feels like guilty. And, this is, it's kind of nice to know that there was like adrenaline rushing through her and that she was getting heated up. It's,
Yeah.
there's like people have a fight or flight reaction. So first she had a flight reaction, and then she kind of switched and had a fight reaction.
Yeah. I wonder, like, since like anytime she like, we've seen that a bunch of times. Sometimes like something bad happens, like she's caught in something and she's just like looking down all the time. I wonder if that's because of coming from like her relationship, her toxic one. Wonder if that's what she always did all the time. Like whenever she like felt bad about something, like she just looks down.
That's so sad. That makes so much sense. And the fact that she's apologizing for what happened, yeah, maybe it's the leftovers of that stupid jerk Jury's relationship with her. Where she always felt she had to apologize. Oh, what a jerk. Nasty person.
Definitely.
Goodbye, Jury. Go be with Mimi, who doesn't seem like a great person either. So, and, Tora thinks to himself, let me handle it. And you can see he's contemplating. It's a very, kind of a distant expression on his face. I love, again, like how much expression you can read into his eyes and to everyone's eyes. Like they're so well portrayed. And he thinks back to when his hand was clenched so hard that it was like his nails were making his hand bleed and it was shaking. And, he just thinks back to that. And like we have a couple of panels of that. And he says, he thinks, you're severely overestimating my self-control, Bobby. And, but he doesn't say any of this to her. But we know, let me ask you, what did you think of his hand clench?
Yeah, like it was just like his nervousness. Like I feel like he was like, oh, now that I think about it, I feel like maybe it was like temptation. Like he really had that urge to just like hurt these guys, but because it's Poppy here and he doesn't want to frighten her, like it was like he's just trying to maintain his control. Like, and then like Poppy knows like every time like he gets nervous about something, he's gonna start shaking and stuff. And it's like, and then like her just kissing him like that, making him calm down, like I feel like all that urge he had just like left.
Yeah, I totally agree. And I think like he didn't want to show Poppy the violent side of him because she sees him for something better than that violence. And he wants to maintain that image with her. Like she's the only one who doesn't see him as this violent hitman, and he doesn't want to ruin that.
Yeah, like she sees way past that. Like she knows like there's like good in him. Like even like she like after like after like Tora walked out on her, like even she's like saying like I remember her like saying like I know you're trying to be this tough guy, but like I know like you do like you're actually there's some good in you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that even way back then she said that. Oh, this is tough. This is gonna be tough for them. Like this, and let's continue the episode because we'll see even more of that. Mm-hmm. So now he leans back. He does not tell her any of this because he likes to keep things to himself. He's not ready yet to share that level of vulnerability. And he's like, then who would you have gone to? Any other hotshots around here? He got a voice huskier than me. He's going back to like back when they met, when she's like, you have a husky voice. Very funny.
Now I want to know how husky his voice sounds.
Husky. Hi, Poppy. Don't come to me for pretending to be husky male. Not my thing. Poppy laughs, shakes her head. And she's like, anyway, I tried revealing as little about you as I could, like your name and stuff, just to be safe, which is nice. She really doesn't know her way around this world. So she doesn't know what's appropriate, like, and what's the safe way of conducting herself. And I think that's nice to be, that she's telling him like how ignorant she is.
Yeah, and I think that was actually smart of her, like, okay, like I don't want to like say too much, but I also have to think of a way for them to like just stop like uh talking shit in front of you.
Right. Yeah, I mean, you know, it's kind of maybe an opening for him to start telling her, like, okay, here are some basic ground rules, lady, you know. And she says, I have no idea what the protocols around here are. So, and like Tora also gives her a look. To me, that look says, like, wow, this lady doesn't know jack shit. And like, oh my God, I'm dealing with a total outsider. And like, what the heck am I gonna do? And like, it's like the beginning of like the same ruminations all the time that this poor guy has to think about all the time. And then he also says, like, wait, that explains the hey, because when she was running them, she's like, hey, I was gonna grill her about it. And he's like, petty ass man, right? Because he's like, hey, you know my name. Oh, sorry. He's like, you know my name, girl. Why are you calling me hey? You know? Like, what am I? Am I like your acquaintance?
Or maybe I feel like maybe she like was able to like see him. I don't think it was like a hey, like I don't know your name and stuff. I feel like she just needed like to like get him like his attention.
Right. I mean, she's saying that she didn't say his name because she wasn't sure if it was like safe to say his name, you know,
Yeah.
like
Okay,
clan
yeah,
wise.
no, that actually makes sense.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and he's like, don't worry, I've kept a low enough profile the past couple of years. Interesting. So like, did the past couple of years, like, did he not keep a low profile before? Did he switch for a reason? Did he just want to like not just, did he just get sick of, you know, having in the attention all the time? Like, interesting. It's kind of an interesting thing to think about. And he steps closer to her and then he asks her, then it's like, then he just does like a normal homey thing. He's like, how was your day? Oh, so
Yeah,
cute.
I was like, I was like, okay, this other jerk, her toxic boyfriend, I'm pretty sure like he was never that type to be like, oh hey babe, how did your day go today? And then for someone to like finally, you know, like check up on her, asking how was her day going. Oh my
Being an attentive, good boyfriend. He doesn't know it yet, but he is her boyfriend, just saying.
yeah.
So, oh, he's a sweetie pie. Our little
He
boy.
really
Okay,
is.
he's not little, but whatever. He'll always be our little boy.
Yes.
We're so proud of him for being kind and attentive. And she's bedumping because she feels that way too. She's like, somebody's taking care of me. But also, she's bedumping because he's putting his hand on her shoulder. Sweetie. Oh my God, those gorgeous hands. Please.
Right.
He has got
And
those manly hands.
you know what's funny is that so on Patreon, like I saw like the sneak peek of this past episode. I it was just like Poppy, and then I see like Tora, just his hand. I was like, oh wow, that hand though.
The hand that like we would recognize anywhere. Yep. And he turns her around to him. And while Poppy responds, I went for a few job interviews today. The last one was a doozy, but I think it did pretty well for the. And then she pauses and she's like, wait a minute. And, you know, Tora, who's like beyond stunning. I can't even believe how stunning this man is, by the way. Like every panel, he's just like more gorgeous.
I know.
It's like not normal. It's just like insane.
I know, right?
Yeah, I mean, you would think we'd be used to it, but no. It's just like there are more perspectives and he can look more gorgeous than each of them. So yeah, he's just a stunning creature. So she's like, wait a minute. And he's, you know, kind of looks concerned. And she's like, Ben, because she forgot about him. She's like, Benjamin, shoot. And then they have this adorable expression, you know, with those sticky out ears, which happens to be, I think, are adorable. I wanted my kid to have sticky out ears, and what my son has slightly sticky out ears. I'm like, here, let's sticky out more. So cute.
Yeah, like I think it was like uh wait, this is episode 63, right? Okay, so it's like the past episode, like episode 62. It's like that like fourth wall break. And then I see like Poppy's like she's like, hey, after like Ben said like she doesn't want to be broke as her. Like she looks like a monkey. Like when she
Yeah,
has like
so
those,
cute.
it's so cute. And
Yep.
I love how like Papa was way too caught in the moment with Tora that she forgot about Ben.
And Tora's expression also is like, it's hilarious. So now she calls Ben, and Ben picks up. We switch to Ben, and he's like, "Hey, Poppy, whoa, calm down, quit yelling, I'm fine." And we see Ben, little Ben, on the phone. No, 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 don't come over, please. I'm safe, I swear, right? Because he's like, don't embarrass me any further, please. I'm with my mom. And then he actually turns and he sees them in the alley. And he's like, "Okay, you're okay too, yeah?" Which is nice. He cares. He's asking about her. Good job, Ben.
Yeah.
It's potential there. We see the makings of a good person in you, you know.
Mhm.
You're like, right, of course you are, because he sees her with Tora. Well, have fun, because he sees her with Tora.
Yeah, like like I know, like if Poppy was my friend, and if I was in Ben's place, like I'll be like, oh, okay, you're with Tora, you're good, you're safe, I don't need to worry about you anymore.
I mean, I think he picks up on the maybe romantic nature of their relationship, because he's like, have fun.
Yeah.
And he snickers. So yeah, he definitely thinks they're like in love or something. And then sorry. It was like, then we have a holy crap, because we have Candy. Candy shows up, and suddenly all her mascara has run, and she's wiping her eyes, and she's like, "You talking to that skank?"
I was like, Candy, who are you calling a skank?
Yeah, it's a little not nice.
Yeah.
But I mean, she probably was called a skank by people, which is, because of her stripper job. I'm sure
Yeah.
she's gotten that epithet from people. So yeah, maybe it's a little bit of like when people are put down by others in a way, it's kind of like a way of feeling better about themselves to call other people that. But mainly it's because she's jealous of our Poppy. She's like, when did Poppy and they broke Tora get involved? And she's like sniffling, and Ben's like, "Mom, she's not a skink. She's just some broke person. Another broke friend, well, that serves her right, clinging onto my Tora like that instead of going to work like she should," which is totally judgmental, because
Yeah.
Poppy is working.
I have a question. Do you think like if like Candy and Poppy were to like actually like meet and like physically, you think like Candy would like probably like intimidate her, or maybe just like do it but like teasingly, kind of like Tora did to her? Because like I saw like that face she made where she's like, "You're talking to that skank." Like her face looked like she was like, it was like a teasing face as I took it. But then I'm like, but this is Tor we're talking about, and we all know that Candy's been like after him. So do you think like she'd be like not nice to Poppy if she actually gets to like know her?
Question. I don't know, because on the one hand, I think Candy seems like a mature person. I think she can understand, like, okay, he's not into me, he's into someone else. And like, Poppy is such a sweetie pie. Like, I think you can't not like her. Like, I think once she meets her, she'd be like, oh, she would fall in love with her because she's such a nice person. But on the other hand, like, I don't know why she was into Tora. I feel like how strong were her feelings? Is it something like she knew him and she really liked him? Is it something else, like she wanted his protection, which some people have speculated, and that's why she wanted to be next to Tora? I mean, if she really, really loves him, or thinks she loves him, because I doubt he really talked to her much, and I don't think you can love someone if you don't talk to them. But is she like really a little obsessed with him? Like, in which case it probably would be hard, and maybe she would be nasty to Poppy for the first time until she falls in love with her.
But oh well, we'll see in time.
Yeah. And she's like, "I can't believe you dragged me here to rescue someone, and I ended up seeing this." She's like sniveling, and her mascara is running. And he's like, "This makes no sense at all." And then he's like, "Better keep my mouth shut, or he'll absolutely kill me." Him and Mr. Quincy. Oh, okay. Wait, so Tora's gonna kill her, and Mr. Quincy? Very interesting. What is Mr. Quincy doing? Like, what's her involvement with him? We don't know that. We didn't know that they were connected at all. I really
Yeah.
sincerely hope he's not the boss that she was talking about earlier when she said that Reggie had to beat her up because the boss was watching. That would be seriously
Oh.
bad shizzle.
Oh yeah, that would be terrible.
So let's hope it's not him. But what is her deal with Mr. Quincy?
Mhm. If only you knew, Ben.
Oh, 1 second. Whoops. Was that Ben saying that? Who's saying these thoughts? Is this Ben or Quincy? I'm sorry, Ben or Candy? Who's saying better keep my mouth shut?
Is it with well, does Ben actually like
Ben knows
know?
Quincy for sure. So that we
But
know
does
Ben
he
knows
know?
Quincy. So maybe he's Ben talking. Sorry. I feel
Yeah,
like
it's
it's probably Ben.
yeah, because like Candy, I don't think never like called Tora Big Bro Tora. I feel like that's only like the guys who ever like call him Big Bro Tora. Because there's like
Oh, yeah.
you.
Yeah, good point. Right. So he was thinking that originally too. So fine. Thank you. Sorry. Yeah.
It's okay.
Whoops. I thought it was Candy. Yeah, that makes more sense. It's Ben. Okay, yeah. So, all right, he better keep his mouth shut. That makes sense. Okay, so he better keep his mouth shut about Poppy and Big Bro being involved. Yeah, he would kill him if he said
Oh yeah,
if he said
like
yabbering about it.
you know what? I still want to see Ben call Poppy an old lady in front of Tora and see what Tora's gonna do to him.
And now Candy's like, well, don't say your mama didn't try asking for early release from the club, and a fat lot of good that did me. Couldn't that dumbass Reggie hit me where I don't need a concealer? Ugh, so sad to hear it. Like, what is her? Why is she bound to the club? Is it just money? Is it beyond money? What happened?
Yeah, like is she like in some like financial like deal? Like is she like not able to like pay that much of her rent, her electric bill? Like I want to know more about Candy and like what is her deal? Like why is she too attached to like I don't want to say like okay, like I understand she needs this money, but like and like I know like we can't like say much like because but like I would say like why doesn't she like look for a job like at a store at a restaurant? But then like we saw how even Poppy like got rejected by some job offerings.
Yeah, so that's why I think it's not just financial. I think that I I suspect my theory is that there's another reason that she has to keep working for the club. I feel like it's some kind of punishment for her from the clan for some reason, and we're gonna find out. I don't know. That's my suspicion.
Yeah.
And yeah, well, we'll see. She's like, word of advice from an aging stripper who's seen it all. Never be that dumbass. Oh, well, never mind. We actually just have it in the next thing. But who signs up as a guarantor for her deadbeat ex illegal loan. That interest rate can have you by the balls. Okay, so it does sound like it's just financial from here, but I'm still going to stick to my theory. Okay, so
That's fine.
but so yeah, so it seems like she signed up as a guarantee for her deadbeat ex, which is maybe probably Ben's dad. Illegal loan, so that means like it's probably making it harder for her, so she has to like keep working for like an illegal club, which let's assume Club Miracle is. Oh yeah, hard for her, huh? Yeah, and the interest rate is, I mean, like obviously interest is terrible. So now Ben sees 2 messages from Quincy and Candy, like a good mama, she's like, who are you texting, a girlfriend? Like, no, don't be nosy. Such a typical teenager. Very cute. Poppy, sorry, Candy, like so excited. I totally get that because like my kids are not of girlfriend or boyfriend age, but you bet I'm teasing them when they are.
Yeah, it's like that's gonna be I've heard or seen parents like be like excited, like, oh, my daughter finally has a boy, oh, my son has finally girlfriend.
I'm a little terrified, honestly. So scared for like who they'll end up with and like stupid decisions they'll make as young people, but that's why it's oh well. And then he like runs away. He's like, hurry up, I got homework to catch up on. And Candy sighs because obviously she doesn't like being pushed away. But and then she's, tries to make him feel better. She's like, Ben, I've gotten pretty good at hoarding money and shit. I'll be able to clear this debt in no time. So chin up, it's not the end of the world, which is so beautiful how she's trying to be optimistic and trying to help her son be optimistic as well and be strong for her son. And that's something that a lot of parents do, try to make the situation better for their kids and not let them know how bad it is so they can be optimistic. And it's very beautiful to see her do that.
Mhm.
But then Ben's like, yeah, you say that every year. And she just sticks at it. She's like, I'll keep saying that till we reach the end goal. After all, when you hit rock bottom, there's no other way to go but up. Come on, kiddo, let's grab some food. It's been a while since we had a bonding sesh. So, I mean, it's a short line, but it's a very inspiring line. You know, that's
or
just
maybe
like,
or maybe I just feel like maybe Candy like she doesn't have to stay. Like like probably if she's not being forced to, but she just chooses to. I don't know, like, cause like so my mom, she has two jobs. Like her second job, she started in the summer of 2014, and she was only supposed to like stay there for that summer, but she like chose to like just like stay there completely because like because she feels like just one job is not enough for like anything. It's like groceries, electric bill, rent. Maybe that's I don't know, but maybe I feel like that's like Candy's situation. Like maybe like she needs like and because this job like pays a lot. She probably thinks like no other job is gonna pay her that much.
yeah, I hope she gets paid well.
Mhm.
I have a feeling not, but like, okay. But I just love that attitude because some people, when they would reach rock bottom, they just become pessimistic and fatalistic and bitter and depressed. But she is positive and she's taking a sad, tough situation and making the best out of it. There's a lot to admire in Candy, that perseverance.
Yeah.
And the fact that she wants to bond with her kid, she wants to connect with him, which we all know teenagers and parents have a hard time connecting, but she wants to. She's making an effort to connect with her son.
Yeah.
Oh. And so, by the way, did you really find that brooch lying on the side of the road? Which maybe was something he said. It's like, yeah, I told you. How many times you need to ask?
I was like,
Seriously.
I was like, Dan, just say that you took it from Poppy. Like, I don't even think like your mom's well, I don't want to say she might not care, but at the same time she probably does. I only say that she might not care because of her reaction to Poppy. She
Oh,
would
that's a
probably
very good
I feel
point.
like yeah, I feel like she would have probably been like, oh whatever. It's that skanks brooch. I don't care.
Yeah, she doesn't believe him. She's like, seriously, would it kill you to quit being a dick for once? I'm a teenager. It's what we do. Deal with it. Very funny. I found that hilarious. And he thinks, I thought I was just going to screw it all up again. And it would just make me hate myself even more, which, is again like a thought about his internal like self-esteem. I mean, we didn't start out, I think, with Ben as a very sympathetic character, but now we're getting into his brain and we see, he's a teenager and he's apparently having issues with like liking himself, which is not that uncommon. And he feels like he just always makes mistakes and messes everything up. And that's what he thought was going to happen. And then we go back to the text messages. He looks like he got text messages from Quincy, probably that he sent to him after, when Poppy told him about it. He says, Ben, I know the hairpin is with you, which is like, he gets straight to the point. He knows. It's very important to Poppy, the lady you took it from. She won't turn you in, which is reassuring him, right? She just wants it back. You're a good kid. Do the right thing. I love Quincy, okay?
I know, me too. I was like Quincy just believes in everyone. Like he does not. He's basically okay to me. He's basically the male version of Poppy because Poppy knows like there's good in people, and so does Quincy.
No, he's such a good person. He says it in like the most, he doesn't belabor the point. He doesn't like yell at him. He's not harsh with him. He tries to bring out the best in him. And he just tries to show him, you're a good guy. I know you can do this. Oh, such a good person, emotionally healthy and wise and affirming. And I love my Quincy boy, and he's my total husband, and that's that. I love him so much. And then he's like, quit being salty. Anyway, Uncle Aniki has been coming around again. Aniki, who we thought was just this comedic figure, is their uncle. Oh my
I was
God.
like, wait, what? That
Maybe not. Maybe he's not their actual uncle, because what he says afterwards, he's like, he's paid off his bills. He did. Did the Tora do that with that money he left in the car? Cleaned his car and got a new suit. Okay. And he wants to know if you go on a date with him. You fucking no. So I wonder if that's like, I'm guessing uncle is probably a way of, I guess he's not his literal uncle. I'm assuming it's just like a affectionate, like term of respect for an older guy for him. But Aniki isn't the candy. I mean, like, not surprising who wouldn't be into candy, but she doesn't seem to be that into him.
oh man.
It's like, why not? He's been hanging around you for years, and he's almost as good looking as Big Bro. I mean, objectively speaking, duh, yeah.
Yeah,
That's for
but we
sure.
all know but we all know who takes the cake.
Yeah, it's very close, very close. Like, you need to go wash your mouth with soap, young man. And he thinks to himself, but I guess, and he thinks back to himself with Poppy, doing the right thing doesn't feel that bad after all. Oh, what a cutie pie.
I don't know. I'm like, you see, Ben? Like, we're so glad. I'm so glad you did not turn into, like, like, like a jerk, basically.
Yeah, I mean, I personally agree with him. I think doing the right thing feels great. So it's kind of maybe selfish of me to do the right thing, because it just feels good. And I feel too bad if I do the wrong thing. So I don't know how much free choice I have in the matter. And he's like, he sighs, and Kenny says, speaking of which, are you ever going to get a haircut? How do you even see anything with all that hair over your eyes? Which is what everyone else has been saying. And Candy makes the move, and she starts to push his hair back. And she's like, you were such a handsome little, which is, again, total mama. Oh my God, like beyond. Every mother's like, I know my husband, when he was a teenager, he dyed his hair black. He has blonde hair. He had long blonde hair, and he dyed it black. And his grandma was like, Johan, you have such beautiful blonde hair. Why did you dye it black? It's typical grandparent thing to be concerned with their children's hairstyles.
Oh yeah.
Pulling his hair back, and then she's like, monkey face, because she's like, goodness, Benjamin, what's with all the acne? And you see poor Benjamin, his whole forehead is like covered with acne, but it's pixelated.
Yeah.
Poor guy.
I kind of related to Ben in that part, because like I used to have like a really bad acne problem when I was little, and like I had like really long hair, so I would just like grab part of my hair, because I would have it on my forehead, so I just usually I'll just like pull my hair like forward just to like cover it. And then like I had like some friends like in elementary school, they're like, how can you see to your left side, how can you see to your right side? I'm like, I can see. And I just didn't want to just like say, because I had an acne problem back then. So I can
same thing. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I had terrible acne too when I was like 19. It was horrible. Yeah, it's funny, because it came out when I was super stressed and depressed during 18, 19 years old. So yeah, not surprising. And she's like, bangs are only gonna make it worse, right? And he's like, it's called puberty, leave me alone. He just stomps away. Poor guy. He's so embarrassed.
Yeah, that was basically my mom too. Like anytime like she saw my like hair in front of my face, she's like, you need to take that hair out of your face. You're gonna start sweating. Your acne's only gonna get worse. Yeah. I'm like, I want to have my hair, I want to have my acne covered.
Or a hat all the time. Yeah, I mean, Lily has got it spot on. It's like, it's just so relatable. We all have been through these things. And Poppy hangs up the phone. She's like, phew, sounds like he's safe now. Thank goodness. And he's like, then should we continue? So cute.
I was like, yes, please do, you too.
Adorable. But Poppy is like, not sorry. And then we don't see Poppy's reaction, because suddenly we hear and it's police cars and back of them. And Poppy freezes. Tora seems like he's freezing too, but he's a little bit more like, to me, he seems a little more alert and like ready for action. Poppy seems to be just freezing. And there's more, and she turns around, she's like, Tora. And then there's a pop, 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 pop. Oh boy. We can pretty much assume those were gunshots. Oh, shizzle. Poppy's just getting thrown in the deep end.
Yeah, and she's covering her ears, right?
Yeah, she is not ready for this. And Tora just rushes her.
Yeah, because I at first thought she was just like having her hands in her face, like if she can't believe like she's experiencing, she's seeing right in front of her eyes, like Tora's world right now. Like she's like Tora's seen her world, now it's like her turn to see his, which is not a good place, but man, poor Poppy.
Yeah, I mean, I can't even imagine, like every so often I think about, like we read the story and we enjoy it, but every so often I think about like putting myself in that situation. I'm like, oh my God, like I would be, it's crazy. Like I would never like.
Yeah, and like, cause the area that I live in, like, back in the day, it was like really like, I guess you could say it would have been like Airy Street, like the area I live in back then was like too many like gunshots, too much fights, too much like all that bad stuff. And like it's sometimes it still kind of does happen, but further up the area, I'm like away from that area. And like even like I too like can't imagine like what it would have been like like being somewhere near there, like I sometimes even get like nervous, like I'll hear like these like sounds, and to me they sound like gunshots. I'm like, oh boy, please don't tell me those were gunshots.
This is like completely startling for Poppy and completely new. And Tora rushes her. He's like in here, and sorry, yeah, and he rushes her into like this little alleyway thing, or I guess it's in the game hall, and then we see this guy running, like a guy with camo pants and like a chain running, and there's still the ew, ew, and everything's red tone. Everything's like very red now, right? Which is like a color of danger. And Poppy's still covering her ears, huddled next to Tora, and she's like, right, she's panting, and Tora thinks to himself, shit, Bobby, you held it together so well the entire night. It's like, oh, he's kind of like freaking out that she's freaking out. And he asks her, you good, sweetheart? And he's nervous, like he has a sweat mark. And she's like, yeah, and he's like, don't freak out on me now. He thinks that. And this poor girl, there's more people running past, and she's like, I'm good. She's like wobbling, and her feet are like little puddles. Yeah, he thinks this is funny. He laughs.
Yeah, but then like, because that part where like Tora's asking her like, is she okay? Like, I was like, hey Poppy, are you just like panting because you're like nervous, or are you actually panting because there's like a hunk of a body in front of you?
Like, that's a good point. Yeah, very good point. And she's like hanging onto his shirt also. She's like about to fall. Yeah, I think it's more nervousness. But anyway, at this point, the police are running past. They've stopped the car. They're running, and they're like over here, and they're still hidden in the alleyway. Yeah. And Papa's like, I thought cops don't come here. He's like, they do occasionally, usually a major tip off from one of our own, which I think is foreshadowing, kind of letting her know, hey, there are some people here who work with the police. Maybe Tora's one of them. Just saying.
You never know.
Yeah. So that's our theory. And she's like, right, nod. And he gives the expression he has on his face. It's like, yeah, maybe he is one of them. That's a very stern expression. But, and then she's like, a stool pigeon. And he just like, what? I never heard of this phrase, by the way. He's like, what the fuck is a stool pigeon? Where'd you learn that from? Mafia TV? We don't say that stuff around here. Like, which is hilarious. It's like my lawyer friends tell me they watch lawyer shows. They're like, it's all wrong. My doctor friends who watch doctor shows, they're like, it's all wrong. So clearly the mafia guy, he's like, what are you watching these mafia shows? They're all wrong.
I know. Oh my god, this episode is just like, it was too funny. This episode was a rom-com, as that one guy had put it, an Airy Street rom-com.
Oh my gosh, that's great. I think I should title this episode Airy Street Rom-Com. Awesome. I like it. And she's like, then what do you guys call an informant? And then he says, we call him numbered. And Poppy is like, oh, right, phone. Okay. And she reaches under her bag while Tora says, as in, their days are numbered. And he gives a little smirk, but I'm like, dude, if you're an informant, you shouldn't be this like smirky about your own possible fate. I don't know.
I know, like I wouldn't be all like smiley and laughing about it. I'd be concerned.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe he's thinking about other people who have been informants whose days were numbered, but we suspect Tori is one of them, and we're like, oh my god. But anyway, Poppy's reaching into her phone for, I guess, I don't know, maybe someone's calling her, maybe she's gonna have to call someone else, but that's, I think, where the next episode will start, or you know, she needs there's something to do with her phone. So that was that.
Wow.
What are your final thoughts on this episode?
I actually don't really have any final thoughts. I just like want to know like who, like, because we have a lot of people are like saying like, you know, like probably like, I think what was the lady's name? Inspector Lane? Like that's who Tora was like referring to. It's like, wonder like she's the one who like sent those cops there.
Oh, interesting. I assumed it was just unrelated, but oh, maybe that's why he's smirking. Maybe he is the one who called the cops. Ooh, that would explain the smirk.
Yeah, and like don't usually like when like you like call like a fire department, a police department, or like the ambulance, like they have like in their screens like where's the call coming from, like everywhere. Like maybe like Tora did call, and maybe like Lane's
running
the
past
one
him.
who picked it up. Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense. That would totally explain the smirk, which I was one. That smirk doesn't really make sense otherwise. The only other reason he'd be smirking is if he's like, oh yeah, those stupid informers, their days are numbered, haha, like we get them. But that doesn't make sense for his character. So yeah, that explanation makes more sense.
What are your thoughts?
I just, yeah, like I said in the beginning before we started recording, I think this beginning of season 2 is really getting Poppy into his world, and it's really bringing home the difference between how they live and why it's so dangerous for Poppy to be involved with him, and like why Tora didn't want her to be involved with him to begin with. I think it's perfect that, you know, we're diving deep now into all the reasons why they shouldn't be together.
Yeah, like they shouldn't, but you know, we know like it's gonna happen. Like we like a lot of things can happen between them, but like, nah, you can't really break them apart now. Like, and it was like it's like amazing, but also like, oh geez, like, you know, season 1 was all about Poppy's world, maybe just like a little bit of knowing about Tora's world, but you know, Poppy's not like actually seeing it before her eyes. Like here in season 2, like now it's all about Tora's world, experiencing both of their worlds.
Yeah, I think it's great. I think I'm excited to see excited to see more as always. Yep.
You know, like so ready. Like I needed to be Friday again.
Yeah, you know, right? I can't, I feel like we could say that at the end of every episode, like, why isn't it Friday? I mean, or for me, Saturday, like, you know, but that's life. We appreciate Lily working her butt off for these. So
yeah, we really do. And I just want to say, I kind of want to make like a little rant real quick. Like, why? Like, I keep seeing those 1 or 2 comments that, oh, like, when are they actually gonna like actually be together? Like, why is it like only like, or like when it's like that like big thing, like the main thing that's gonna probably cause problems between them. Like, when is that gonna happen? Like, why are we only like seeing like, oh, just kisses right now and like sweet stuff? And I'm just like thinking to myself, are these people like not like, are you like new to like romance series and stuff? Because if you are, like, that's how they always start, like boy and girl like meet each other, like they get into each other and they're gonna start like with all that cutesy stuff before, like, but that like builds up like what's gonna happen.
Yeah, they can't, like, a story with no obstacles is not much of a story. So like if they would meet and they'd be like, we have no problem getting together, la la la, I love you, live happily ever after, like the story would end on episode 1. So you need
Exactly.
obstacles. You don't want
Yeah.
them to get together too fast because then you won't have anything to read on Friday night. So
Yeah, I want something to read on Friday nights.
yeah. All right. Well, thank you, Sarah, so much for doing the episode.
Thank you, Mindy. Sorry it was like late.
Yeah, I know, to anyone who was watching, I was like yawning the entire time because it is like super late at the time of recording because we had different time zones and now we had to fit it into like work schedules, but it's good. We did it. All right. Thanks so much, Sarah. Have a
You're
good
very
night.
welcome. I hope to be on whatever next one I'm up for.
Yep.
I'll be great. Bye.
All right. Bye.